Welcome everybody. I want to give a special shout out to my brothers and sisters from the labor movement. Well, I'm joined here today. My name is Patrick Quinn. I'm with 1199 New England Healthcare Employees Union, and I'm joined here today by my brothers and sisters from Local 251 Teamsters, IBEW 2323, the Verizon workers, and ATU, public transit, other transit workers. We're here today to announce our combined endorsement of Aaron Regunberg. I just wanted to start out with a couple of quick comments and point to what I think is the real difference here is that, Aaron's experience as an organizer and the impact that he's had already in the General Assembly shows me that he's somebody who can lead on issues that are important to working people. He's got a proven record of bringing people together. Our issues, he's demonstrated that he understands Medicaid, and Medicaid is an investment in not only our population and its health, but in our whole healthcare system. And that's key for people who have both private insurance and public insurance, because we do a great job taking care of people in the state. We need to continue to build on that. It has huge payoffs for population health that we've grown Medicaid and protected it, and we need to continue to do that. That's one of the constitutional responsibilities of the Lieutenant Governor, is to head up the Long-Term Care Council. And I think understanding that issue, Aaron would bring a great deal of focus and a great deal of emphasis that, left undone is a living wage for caregivers in all aspects, whether it's, hospitals, nursing homes, or any other areas of home care of our system. So I just want to close out by saying, in the short time I've known Aaron, since he's been involved in PSU, he's demonstrated to me that he's a leader and he can bring people together and move an agenda, as we did on various things on the budget and earned sick time, and other people will speak to those issues. But I want to thank everyone for being here today, and on behalf of 1199, I want to welcome Paul Santos from 251 Teamsters.
Thank you, Patrick. First off, I'm very honored to represent Teamsters Local 251 in this endorsement for Aaron Regunberg for Lieutenant Governor of Rhode Island in 2018. Aaron was there for us during our Rhode Island Hospital contract campaign. He was instrumental in gathering community support for us. That's the leverage that we needed against the mighty Lifespan Corporation. With the community support, we were able to negotiate a pretty good contract for 2,500 Rhode Island hospital Teamsters. And it was a pretty good contract, and it was no small task against the mighty Lifespan Corporation. Aaron sponsored raising tipped minimum wage in Rhode Island, benefiting our members at Twin River Casino and many other tipped workers in Rhode Island. Aaron sponsored earned sick time legislation that guarantees paid sick time for working members in Rhode Island. That legislation helps us tremendously in future contracts and negotiations that currently don't have that benefit. Workers can now take sick time, for either themselves or their loved ones without fear of losing their jobs. Aaron was instrumental in that fight. Aaron spoke Aaron spoke the Labor Day and Workers Against Racism event in 2017. He's a fighter against any injustice to the working class. And it's kind of funny, whether it was 20 degrees of bitter cold for our informational picket at Rhode Island Hospital for their unjust sick policy against our workers there, or on the other side of things, 90 degrees, for our air gas strike. One thing we can always guarantee on is seeing Aaron on these picket lines. He's always there to support us. And if he ever needs a part-time job, we'll take him on. It's a breath of fresh air. Having a politician that truly cares, about unjust things that are happening to the working class these days. And anybody that's ever talked to Aaron, you can see it. He really cares. And he listens to you, and he gets things done, and he puts all his efforts into whatever fight he's motivated and gets involved in, and Aaron truly believes that unions are the key to improving the lives of working families, and we need more of that in leadership, and thank you, Aaron, You know, you've always had our backs, and we will always have yours. And it's great seeing a politician that can, you know, talk the talk, and from all his walking on our picket lines, definitely walk the walk. So I'm proud to, you know, have Teamsters Local 251 endorse Aaron Regunberg for Lieutenant Governor in 2018. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgia Hollister Isman from Working Families Party, and I want to just say a few things about Aaron. We work on broader economic justice and workers' rights issues along with a bunch of these great union folks here. And I want to say, sometimes when we make an endorsement, we're endorsing somebody who we think of as an ally. But Aaron is not an ally, Aaron is a champion, and that is definitely a different thing, and we see that play out in two really important ways. One, fighting hard and practically and winning real advances for working people. I want to take a moment and talk about earned sick days. This is a campaign that Aaron and I worked closely on all year, for a whole year, and I watched Aaron mobilize his colleagues in the legislature, organize them the way we might organize workers together to have more collective power, have hundreds and hundreds of conversations where he repeatedly brought this issue to the forefront, repeated it again to everyone who would listen, to the speaker, to all of the powerful folks up there, elevated the voices of those who were most affected by it, negotiated when it came down to it in order to get the strongest possible earned sick days legislation. 100,000 workers are going to get paid sick days in Rhode Island this year. That would not have happened. But also, the other thing that makes Aaron a champion is not just the in the trenches fighting hard for the practical thing we can win, but how clearly and boldly he states the vision for the kind of economy we need, where he talks about economic justice in ways that sometimes other people just don't. He talks about a millionaire's tax to actually fund the core services we need, making those at the top really, truly pay their fair share in a way that benefits all of us. He talks about a $15 an hour minimum wage, not just a little increase in the minimum wage, but a big one, so that it's actually possible for everyone who's working to take care of their families. Aaron's a champion because he does both of these things, articulates a clear vision, and fights for it to win. We're excited to endorse him at WFP for Lieutenant Governor for two reasons. One, we're excited to take the fight for this bold vision for economic justice statewide, and Aaron's campaign allows us all together to do just that. And second, we're excited to have him in the State House, in a statewide office, fighting practically and hard to actually win those things every day. So we're incredibly proud to be with Aaron Regunberg for Lieutenant Governor.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Murphy. I'm the business manager for IBEW Local 2323, representing all the Verizon telephone workers in the state of Rhode Island. I stand here today enthusiastic, energized for the opportunity to endorse Rep. Regunberg for Lieutenant Governor. Without being redundant to what some of the speakers before me have said, if I can talk personally about our struggle with Verizon. We were on strike or a work stoppage for 7 weeks, and during those 7 weeks you'll really find out who your true friends are. And every single day Aaron was on that picket line walking with our members, and for that we'll be forever grateful, and he'll have a friend for life. So today IBEW Local 2323 proudly endorses Representative Aaron Regunberg for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Thomas Cute. I'm President Business Agent of Amalgamated Transit Union, Division 618. We represent the transit workers at RIPTA, along with school bus drivers in Warwick, Johnston, Jamestown, and also monitors and aides in Warwick. Also firefighters in Lime Rock, Lincoln. We're here today to offer our endorsement to an outstanding political leader in the state. Truly a man of the people. He stands up for those who have been forgotten in the corridors of the State House, for those who've been forgotten in the city halls, for those who've been forgotten in the hiring halls. As collective bargaining has declined over the past 30 years, the rights and dignity of a living wage, protections when you are sick, access to paid sick leave are now on a constant battle. We are trying to get these things accomplished, and Aaron has accomplished a major thing for my members in 618 with that sick leave bill. Tremendous legislation, and it took obviously great skill and craftsmanship on his part to be able to work with both people on both sides of the aisle, I should say, concerning getting enough votes to get this passed. This is only the beginning, as we're living in some dark times, brothers and sisters, and we need to have, as it was stated earlier, a champion. Our local is endorsing the champion for Lieutenant Governor, Aaron Regunberg, and we're going to get behind him and do whatever we can, and we urge everyone else in the labor movement and all the voters of Rhode Island to seriously consider their choices at the ballot box next year. Thank you. Good luck.
Well, thank you so much to Patrick, Georgia, Paul, Thomas, Steve, for those very generous words. I have to start by sharing my deepest gratitude to the 18,000 working men and women of Teamsters Local 251, SEIU 1199 New England, ATU Local 618, Rhode Island Working Families, and IBEW Local 2323 for putting your faith and your support behind our campaign. Your members are the folks who make Rhode Island work every single day, who care for our loved ones, who transport our children, who connect our businesses and our families. And so I am incredibly proud to have your support. And I'm especially grateful to receive these endorsements so early in the election cycle, right as we launch our campaign, because they help clarify what this race is really about. We are living in a world that is mired in decades of economic policy that has continually rigged the system toward powerful corporations and the wealthiest 1%. Income and wealth inequality are ever increasing, while the middle class and working families are under assault like never before. The strongest bulwark that we have to protect our existing middle class and to make sure there's still a pathway for working families to join that middle class is the labor movement. Organizations like Teamsters and SEIU, IBEW, and ATU that allow working people to come together, to collectively have a voice, to push for the protections and the rights that all Rhode Islanders deserve. Here in our state, the stark reality is that many Rhode Islanders who work hard and play by the rules seem to be running in place, or even worse, they're losing ground. They believe that the economic deck is stacked against them in favor of large corporations, the politically connected, and the very wealthy. And you know what? They're right. I've seen the way lobbyists for big corporations like Walmart, representatives for the top 1%, are so powerfully heard every single day at the State House. And I think working people deserve a partner in our state government too. As Lieutenant Governor, I pledge to work and to fight alongside all of your members. Together, we can and we will make sure that no one who works full-time lives in poverty in our state. We will defend Medicaid and make sure that we are fair to those who care. We will support working people who are trying to organize to win a better life for themselves and their families. We will push for the investments that our communities need in public transportation, in infrastructure, and we will stand up to protect a worker's right to collectively bargain no matter what happens in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of work to do, but we've come together to win real change in the past, and so I know that we can come together again to win the changes that our workers, that our families, that our communities need. So I want to thank you again so much for your support, and I am excited to continue working and fighting alongside each and every one of you in the months and years ahead. Thank you so much.